So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give each of you a piece of paper. On this piece of paper, I'd like you to write 3 things that you would like to share with the rest of the group. But I would like you to write it, fold it over. After about 2 minutes I will collect them in this box, and then we will present a randomly selected 3 facts about everyone.
Project in Palestine. The experience in Brussels with the Ubuntu project. My feelings about the Ubuntu project.
Cryptic.
Cryptic.
Yeah, family of 2 male parents and 2 sisters. Love playing music, especially rock and roll. My dream holiday destination is Havana, Cuba.
You know the
Used to make electronic music, and it's my first time in South Africa.
Now, if you turn over the page, you will see the seminar program for tomorrow. The theme is International Volunteering for Development, and you'll see the award program. Tomorrow, we need 2 jurors to give an input at 12 o'clock on what the lessons are that you have got from this juror process.
I was like that. So he cut me off and then...
You know that this is gonna end.
No. For now we are evaluating the Durbanville Children's Home, and they read the application in Brussels. So we are going to stress the strongest point.
So I say the volunteer statement is missing, therefore we couldn't judge the application. And
that was one of the criteria for judging.
Which one? The volunteer statement?
Yes. That was one of the criteria. So in future, they should follow the guidelines and the criteria.
I'm sure that many of them will support the project.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They have nice, good volunteers
And
in
if
place.
they didn't have the time, couldn't they just ask you for more time?
But there would be a question of what did then we do when we find out that they used the fake volunteer? Why wouldn't we give them time for another volunteer that is there to write to us and give us the relevant testimonial?
How can we trust them again that they are going to provide us with a volunteer?
Because we contacted the volunteer who was listed on the volunteer statement, and they didn't know anything about Ubuntu at all. Another
so we can
volunteer
just write to them, tell them that you really disappointed us and you've lost our trust.
Basically, yes.
I would say no, we invite them to apply again next year, because so long as they project was very highly scored and very highly considered.
there is a discussion with the partners concerning some of the projects that are running that they do not have sufficient funding for, which means that for each they ask the sending organization for each project they have, well, for each volunteer, sorry, that will come, if they can sort of add on to the sum that they will pay for sending the volunteer, if they can add on a small sum for this certain project. So there is an orphanage, for example, if each volunteer will sort of bring a sum of money to that project, but it's a sending organization that would give the money. So in that sense, they do discuss the questions.
Great. And from the sending organization side?
Try to focus on when selecting the participants. I think it's exactly what Helene highlighted before. Trying to select motivated participants who travel to learn and not to teach.
How are you going to develop yourself?
Because it's always misunderstood. You're not going there to develop. It's a personal development and it's an enrichment for both sides. So that's.
We even haven't written down in the application, the confirmation forms our applicants get that they do not do development ed. I think the whole program from our sending side is this working on this development, on this approach to the South, not only seeing them as people who need help. I guess this is part of the whole idea.
And within continents. So if we have a Southern African regional program, what do people need to know?
And the other one, this is a bit funny, relationships amongst the volunteers. So volunteers, yeah.
We're only human beings if we're born in the South. Yeah, I don't go there.
Yeah, so we should clearly define this. Is it allowed to fall in love with somebody in my own community?
Foreign volunteers to come to pre-departure orientation and all print materials and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's
Bon?
I'd love to work with an organisation that says to a project, tell us what you need and we'll give you financing, that's great, but what advice can we give to projects like myself, again, besides Volunteer Centre who assists us, what advice can we give them to say, you do have a right to a certain amount of funding from organisations, and how do we let a big organisation like Weltsvat, how do we make them aware that there are people out there that are not distributing the wealth and that are keeping the funding for themselves, and it's not reaching the project and it's not reaching the volunteers where it should do, because it is a big problem. So, do we not need to report that back somehow? What do we do with that information?
So for sustainability and for the development of the grassroots projects, we can maybe make some recommendations in the final report, which somehow we can pull out and disseminate. I don't know.
I think this is our national responsibility to do so. We can, if we meet with other organizations, we can say, look, the benefit of our organization is proved. So what you could do as Southern Africans is someone work in the same direction if you think this is a good idea.
That's what Julia was talking about.
I think that is the crux of what we need in our region. Minimum standards, which will qualify you as a partner organization and as a host organization, and that if host organizations are not feeling that they've got a healthy relationship with a partner, that they name and shame them, and that we say, you know, the people who are sending volunteers to this host organization, please not play the game there, because what often happens in host organizations is that they don't know who the sending organization actually is, because they are dealing with the intermediary.